Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be doing something rather new and special today, and I have a very interesting online race footage that I want to show you, and I would want to share a bit of my analysis on it. So I hope you are hyped for this video, and yeah, let's get straight into it. So here we are. This is the replay of the online race. Now the story starts from yesterday when I was racing in a lobby around Monza, and then something very interesting happened. So I'll let you take a look on what happened. So this is the race start, nothing special here, and I made the fast lap, 1:48.0, put on pole, and I had a Mercedes line up alongside me, and here we go on the race start, and it looks very normal, nothing special here, until this happened. I think maybe you can't see very well what happened there. I'll let you take a look on another camera, which is here. And yep, as you can see, we make contact, and seems like a very typical kind of lap one incident when everyone fighting decision and stuff, and this could happen occasionally. Whether you want it to happen or not, it happens. So I'll go deeper on the analysis on this particular incident, because this is actually the trigger point of what is going to follow, and I can promise you the follow-up is actually rather interesting. So let's take it on the start. I think it would be better on a high bird eye view camera, and actually you can see he was actually moving over to my line slightly, not by a big margin. He was just a bit of slight steering adjustment, and he was trying to close my door, not leaving me any kind of extra space, which is actually fine. But you can argue who's on fault here, because actually I personally as well actually tried to close him the door as well, but I didn't move over as much as he does. And you can see this is the start. Actually, I can roll back a little bit, almost like this is just after the start line, and then I'll put it in a bit of slow mo, and you can see he was actually at the beginning of the straight, he was actually being very close to the white line, and it's not even half a car width here. And meanwhile, I was about a car width to the left hand side, white line. And then as time goes by, you can see that he's starting to move over to my line. Now he's got about a car width to the white line, and I was pretty much on the line. I move over a little, but not as much as he does. And you can see now he officially leave about 1 to 1.5 length, maybe 2 here, and I was pretty much staying on the line, just very slightly. You can see to turn into him, and then he actually didn't quite. I'll actually give you a better angle. He actually didn't quite realize that he was actually on my line there, and he would thought like I will back off, but in fact that I didn't, because I couldn't really give him more space. If I turn my steering wheel left to avoid that, I would have spun, because I have to lift off. But if I don't lift off and hold my line, he will spin, because he was actually making contact with his tail, which is actually almost the lightest part of the car's body. But yeah, you can see he was the one who was moving over to my line the most. I moved over a little bit, but not enough to cause a contact on this occasion. But no one's on fault here because everyone finding position hard into turn one, even before it. And this could happen, whether it's in sim racing or in real life. So it's no one's fault. It's a typical kind of racing incident. It sucks for him because he spun. I didn't. I managed to hold the momentum of my car, and we made contact. He spun. But after this incident, it was the trigger point of what is followed. And I'll let you see what followed. So you can see, very normally, I'm leading the race. Actually, you can see in the background already, the Mercedes just gone past the first Lesmo, and he was actually slowing down. Now, it's very normal. He gone back into the pits. He repaired the car. Now he's a lap down, and he moved out of the racing line, slow down to give the space. It's okay, and I don't blame him for that. And it's nothing wrong here. I just flash him to tell him that there's a lap. There is the leading car coming in your way. Give me the space. I should have braked a little because last time, before this online race, I actually hit an incident where a Porsche crashed into me intentionally on a racing incident. We banged wheels. He gone off track. So and then after he cut the corner, the runoff, and then he literally just shunted straight into me. So this time I'm being very careful here. I'm afraid that the Mercedes might do the same. So I slowed down a little before I actually got past him. But he didn't turn, so it's good. So I decided to keep going until here this happened. Yeah, you can see he just flew past me, and you would have guessed what happened. Yes, he didn't back off at all. You can see on the HUD, he didn't lift whatsoever until he realized that he missed me, and then he stopped the car. But he couldn't stop in time, and then I got by. And I should say, there's no sportsmanship, no sense of sportsmanship whatsoever from him, because obviously it's not the action that should be taken after a racing incident to take revenge on track. And actually, in real life, if he's done that, he would have got a license back. He will not race in any kind of FIA certified championship ever in his life. But there's no such thing here in the online open lobby in ACC. So he got back, repaired the car, and got out again. And you can see he's actually not trying to get back into the race. He was slowing down a lot, and he was waiting for me. And actually, you can see here and then he cut the chicane for no reason at all, and then come back onto the track. And then obviously I didn't go straight past him because I'm afraid that he would shunt into me. But after this threat, I realized that this guy is going to take me out, and then I take a very cautious method to avoid any kind of incident possible. And yeah, there you go, he's done it again. And this time, like last time, he didn't lift, he's just trying to take me out. But this time he actually got closer because he knows that I'm going to stay in my racing line. So this time he just tried to aim better, but just for safety precautions, actually, you can see I turned my steering wheel to avoid him this time, and the humiliator just got humiliated. And it doesn't stop there, because after this, he was still here, and this time I was looking on the ranking board and know that very well he's in front. So I slowed down a little, and then you can see on the dashboard I actually gave him a flash just to let him know that he is in the way. And I don't know if he's going to side shunt me or not, but I slow down, make sure I don't get hit, and then yeah, balls roll to go past him, and then he shunts into me, spun himself around, and he did it again just before the finish around Parabolica. You can see he's right there, waiting for me. Slow down, obviously, as I've done the whole race, and he missed me this time entirely. And I finished the race in one piece, and still managed to keep about a 5-second gap to the second place and winning the race. Now, firstly, what I want to say is don't be this guy, and because it's just no sense of sportsmanship whatsoever. Even though like any kind of racing incidents happen, the first thing that you should be doing is definitely not this, and this is the last thing that you want to do. And if the racing incident haven't caused you anything, like at least he was trying to kill you, obviously, the other guy, you shouldn't be doing that, because it, like, if any of you have played GT Sport, it's definitely classified as something that will make you look bad. And the priority of racing driver is to be safe, disciplined, and of course you must have sportsmanship, and this is going proper against that. So, but the main thing is not to share about this today. The main thing is that I want to use this video to give you guys a bit of insight on these incidents, and hopefully that I could give you some useful tips on how to avoid online racing incidents, at least reduce the chance of getting yourself involved in these kind of stuff. So I hope you're ready for the coming up analysis, because it's going to be boring, but if you want to hear me talking about these kind of bullshits, and you would want to make yourself a bit less vulnerable in racing online races, I would recommend you to watch the second part of this video coming up now. So the first lap incident, I don't think I need to explain anymore, because I actually did quite a detailed analysis on this, and you can actually see it didn't. You can't really like blame me on shutting the door, or blame him on shutting the door on me. It's just racing incident. Everyone wants to fight for decision, and someone spun, and that's it. It's just simple as that. Racing incident. No one tried to take anyone out, so there you go. Racing incident. That's no like a right definition for it. But the next incident, which is the first time that he tried to take me out. Now, as you can see, I actually brake very early for this corner, because I know that he's in front, and because of what I've learned, lap car, whenever the lap car haven't been involved in racing incidents with you or not, you should always be aware of lap cars, especially in online races, because you can never know what the people are capable of. You can never know. He could be an absolute idiot in front of you, who doesn't know how to race. and he could be someone who just involved into a racing incident trying to take you out. So always leave yourself some space. It will make you actually, it will avoid a lot more incidents than you think in lots of occasions. But so I slow down, flash him obviously to make sure that he is aware that there is a car behind him is trying to lap him. He slowed down, gone off the racing line, and obviously I slowed down a little because I encountered a lot of drivers like this who trying to take others out after got involved in the racing incident. So I slowed down a little, make sure that I don't get taken out straight away because I was in the lead, and keep the car in one piece. But it was good, and then I keep it. And then after make sure that he won't side shunt me, I got off, and then I checked a little bit of my view here on the scar before the scar chicane, make sure there's no car in front, and then I checked the mirror to make sure that the Mercedes is doing the proper thing. But because I've encountered a lot of these incidents so many times, and after a break, I actually looked into my mirrors to see whether he was slowing down or not. And turns out he was not slowing down. I decided to put my steering wheel straight, not turning into the corner, until I make sure that he flew past me and I won't get any kind of contact. It's a great tip, always to be aware of the environment around you. People may not trying to take you out, but actually, for 80% of the case, everyone just want to have a good race. No one will try to take anyone out, but accidents can happen, and you have to make sure that you are aware of the environment enough to make sure that you can avoid any kind of unwanted racing incidents that happen. And at least that's what I do, and it's proven through the years it's effective. So that's the first tip. And this tip also applies to what's coming up as well. I believe is on lap. On lap. I forgot what lap it is. Yeah, lap 6. But this time, I met him before entering into the Ratificio chicane. I'm not sure if I pronounced that one right. Correct me if I'm wrong, people. So, this time I met him before the first chicane, and I realized that he is behind me, obviously, and I'm well aware of the fact that he's going to take me out again. So this time I was first, obviously, I checked the area in front, whether there are any cars in the way that would stop me from escaping, and make sure that there's no car. And then I start to slow down the car, and then start to look at my mirror to track his action. As soon as I know that he's trying to turn to me, I decided to steer my car into the grass. Now it is a bit dangerous because turning on the grass could actually make your car lost control and probably end up into the barrier there. But this time it's actually it was actually a prepared action. I was ready to go on the grass. I slowed the car down enough to keep the car stable, so I decided to do that, and yeah, it did avoid myself from being taken out by the Mercedes. It was good. And here's what I think is a tip number 2. Sometimes to avoid racing incidents, you have to make a bit of sacrifice to yourself. Sometimes leaving space to your opponent doesn't necessarily mean it's just letting yourself getting bullied. Sometimes it's even more. It's actually have more advantage on yourself as well, because leaving space to yourself, making sure you always stay out of trouble, actually works in a lot of time. You might lose a couple of positions with a move like this, but it at least makes sure that your car's in one piece and you can keep on racing, and probably if you have enough pace, you can chase the car who just gone past you in the incident. But getting taken out by another car because you don't want to lose that couple of tenths or a second. You might ending up losing a lot of time in the pits or even getting a DNF. Especially with a shunt like this, you're definitely getting a DNF, and probably you're getting yourself an ambulance as well. So always be ready to sacrifice a bit of time just to avoid any kind of incident, occasional incidents that will happen to you. So and then the next stop is happened on lap 9 around Lesmos. Now this time I saw him before the Lesmos already, so after I got out of Lesmo, I start to flash him and actually slow down the car a little, just because that I want to make sure that even if I get side shunts, I won't spin that much. As I slow down a lot, I won't have that much of a momentum. I can keep my car stable under this condition. After I slow down, make sure that my car is stable enough, immediately get back on the throttle to gain your momentum when you pass through him, so that whenever he's slower than you and he tries to take you out, you will end up spinning, especially if the opponent doesn't have a good aim. He aimed on my rear this time, which was actually where the traction was given to the tarmac, so he hit the wrong spot and he spun. So sometimes remember, the throttle can actually save you, especially in the rear-wheel drive car, so make good use of that. And then doesn't end there, because as I've said, there is actually a fourth incident. This time I just slowed down the car and then gone off racing line a little, make sure that he won't hit me that easily, and he missed that this time. So that's the race. And yeah, it was actually, I would say I'm proud of this race because it was actually a rather great execution of a race. I think it's a good example on how to avoid racing incidents in online race. So I thought this would be a good video to share with you guys. So that's the end of the video analysis. I hope you enjoy my rather boring analysis on this video, but I really do hope that you find those advice useful to your online race. If you that's the end of this video then. So if you really enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy my content really much and want to see more, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Until then, take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.